Daniel.
Yeah.
We're live.
Okay.
She has a swivel here. I don't know if you want. It might be better to move it up here. I don't know. But you're in charge.
Ah, you got a swivel now. You updated
Yeah,
this
we got
stuff.
But it's not the best one. It's kind of crappy quality and like
Is it?
it's low. I wish.
Does this expand?
That's
better.
Very good.
Yeah.
This is
We're already live.
Okay.
Fifth division.
Yeah.
This is like professional setup, but amateur.
Okay.
This is now
Yeah, so
semi-pro.
saying we've got some like, good players in.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem really good.
Yeah. What's a shame is that there's two players who I was hoping to tell you about their story. It's amazing. They're like the. I imagine if Gerrard and Lampard, as they got older, their technical ability is still there and their vision and whatever is still there, but their physicality isn't.
Yeah.
So they drop from the Premier League to the Championship, and then a year, two later they drop to Division 1, and then like 5 years later they're playing in like some of the semi-pro leagues because they just love the game so much.
Yeah.
So this team basically recruited the Gerrard and Lampard of Israel. They've got the guy who was about a year ago voted the best ever Israeli player.
Really?
And
Wait,
they've
our
got,
team?
yeah, but they're not here today, unfortunately. And there's another guy who has the most minutes logged, like, of all players for the Israeli national team.
Wow.
And they both play on this team now, and yeah, it's crazy. It's literally like every week I like say hi to the Lampard of Israel and the Gerrard of Israel, and they're all like skulls. You know, like these like classic players who just played well into their gigs and stuff.
It's like Rex and...
Yeah, it's
just
a bit
got,
like. So these are like.
the old England keeper.
That's right, yeah.
Is it I don't know who it was.
That's right.
He used to play for England, like, is it Rob Green or something like Rob Green? It's not Rob Green. It's one of the old England keepers.
Yeah.
So the idea of this thing is that the football team just got promoted as well. So they want to be 5-10 years from now, they want to have an Aliyah team in the top flight of Israeli sports. That's the plan. And the truth is they've got a lot of players here who last year they absolutely dominated because they had a bunch of players who were good enough to play in the second division, some even like to be bench players in the first division, playing for the team, and they just steamrolled everyone. And it was a lot of fun to watch, but also when you're up like 30 points and people are barely trying, it wasn't. This is much more difficult because a lot of those guys went back, a couple of their best players went back to America, but they recruited some other guys who were really good. The whole team moved over, and so now I think they're having a pretty difficult time. They're like top 5 in this league, but only the top team gets promoted.
These guys.
So, yeah, I don't actually know anything about this team. But usually the big teams have a ton of people watching.
Okay.
Maybe because it's Pesach, there's less generally. I need to be on it every time they move. So they use this for like to make plays, and they've got statistics guys. It's like it's a real thing.
Okay.
Is there commentary?
No. Occasionally I commentate with that guy, with one of the guys there. We have a lot of fun.
I thought there were 330 something people watching. That's the minute. It's 2 people.
You have to be an Aliyah.
No, it's the theme of the team, but there's no rule. I mean,
these Lampard and Gerrard,
they're Israelis, yeah. Yeah, but they're both actually like one's of Moroccan origin and the other's of like German origin or something. So they consider them Olim. He's one of the best players on the team.
That guy?
Yeah. Whether this red team's good or not, it doesn't really matter. The the guys the Inter are missing like 4 or 5 starters tonight. I think just Pesach is a tough time.
You're not too optimistic?
I don't know, it depends. If this is one of the better teams in the league, no, we'll get killed. If it's one of the average teams in the league, we still have a chance.
Wow, that's good.
He's good enough to play in the second division. He was recruited from the second division.
What's in it for him going down to
He can... training is very easy. He can just sort of be the man.
Yeah.
Whereas he was like a role player. He was a role player on the second division team, and then he can just come and chill. Like a lot of the kids just said, I'm sick of the like professional lifestyle. You have to control what you eat, control where you go, control what you do, control this and that. And so they just want the basketball, but they don't want that life. And so him and a bunch of other people are all about that basically.
what's in the first division? Is it like people fully pro? It's like a big deal.
The first division people are making millions of dollars a year. Yeah.
Really?
The top players are making millions and millions of dollars a year. Obviously not anything like the NBA, but Israel has one of the best divisions in Europe. Like the Israeli teams are always competitive, the top Israeli teams are always competitive in the European Championships. Yeah.
So, how quickly does that scale down to like, can the second, third division guys make a living? Do they?
Good question. I don't know. I think the second division guys can all be fully professional, not rich, but I don't know. I don't even know comparison. They can be, but then by the third division, I don't think. I think these guys are getting like maybe 100 quid. Like it's really nominal in this division in the fourth league.
How much are they?
I think some of the better players who they have to recruit will be getting £100-ish a game, maybe, but most of these guys will be playing for free.
I think it would kind of be fun to watch an NBA game. The best guys go out.
Oh, it's so a lot of these teams in the third team are filled with very good prospects. So like 15, 16-year-olds who are expected one day to play in the top division will be playing in these leagues to like bludgeon them basically.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking it might be like a weekend team.
Yeah, for sure. Sunday league.
It's good to watch. Self-explanatory, but I don't get the pounds.
Yeah, it's fun to be a part of. I like.
So this is free throw, right?
Yeah.
And it's 2 points.
Oh yeah, you guys even familiar with the rules of basketball?
Not really.
Okay, fine. So, the idea is to get the ball in the basket and score more points than the opponent. That's the low-hanging fruit. But then, do you see that line, that sort of curved white line?
Yeah.
If you shoot from behind that line, it's 3 points.
Yeah.
If you shoot from inside it, it's 2 points. A free throw is always 1 point.
And dunks too.
Dunks are 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you somehow can fly and take off from behind the 3-point line, then it's a 3.
Pretty rare, I feel.
It's never ever happened.
Is it ever?
No one is athletic. There have been occasions. Where guys have taken off from behind the three and get to within, I don't know, 2 meters and then fling it up.
Wow.
But no one's ever been athletic enough to actually dunk from
Pretty
behind
immense.
yeah. You have to fly.
How would you land that as well? That's the other thing.
Oh, you just hang on to the. You just hang on.
You get to the hoop.
Yeah.
You miss it, you're fucked. So I know about travel.
Right. So then there's a bunch of rules about how you're allowed to bounce, how many steps you're allowed to take between bounces. I'm not super familiar with all of that.
But what are the free throws?
Free throws happen in 2 occasions. They happen when you are fouled as you're shooting.
Okay.
That's the most common type. If the ball goes in, you get. Again, it depends. You get the number of free throws reflects the number of points that you would have scored. So if you're fouled on your shot from outside the 3-point line, you get 3. If you're from inside, you get 2.
Oh.
If you're fouled as you score, it's called an and 1 because you get the points for scoring and another point.
Wow, that's so good.
That was amazing vision. And you get another point. That's the most common type of free throw. Then it gets very complicated because you have what's called team fouls. Okay. And so they happen on non-shooting fouls.
Yeah.
So did you see on the clock up there?
Yeah.
There's a 2.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the number of team fouls. Every quarter you're allowed up to 5 team fouls for free. So if he gets fouled here, the ball goes to the side and they just continue, right?
Yeah.
But shooting fouls also count as team fouls. Like every foul counts as a team foul.
Okay. And at 5?
At 5, you get free throws on non-shooting fouls.
Oh, interesting. So you got fouled here, you just move into
So if he gets fouled now and he's not shooting, they'll just take a bouncing or whatever it's called from the side. But if he gets fouled later in the quarter, after they have been what's called bonus, after 5 have already gone by, then you start shooting free throws. You'll see. It'll happen during the game. It always does. And I'll explain it as it happens. That was a travel. Okay, so that was ridiculous. That looked like a travel to me.
Yeah.
Travel is when you don't. Yeah, exactly. Well, in the NBA, they have VAR on every single play, basically. It's there's a rule about how many steps you're allowed to take without bouncing. Okay. It's technically 1.5, but players get away with 2 and 3 all the time. Oh shit. Relaxed, I forgot to move the camera, we missed that play.
Blame that one on us.
Yeah, it's difficult, like doing this and then you watch the game and you suddenly remember that you forgot. I found that even more difficult when you're doing the shot clock or that clock up there is controlled by those guys sitting there. Now often I'll do that as well, and you really have to just extract yourself from the game and not even watch the game as like an entertainment thing.
Yeah.
You just have to follow it and it's so difficult, and I screw up all the time. Oh, wow, he's also good. And I screw up all the time, and then everyone complains, and there's just so much pressure on it that they like to give me the clock. The camera now, so if I screw up, it doesn't matter. Because ultimately, I like coming to watch. I don't really I like being involved and helping how I can because it's non-professional. by the next division. By the next division, everything. So in the 5th and 4th division, the home team has to provide all the people. There's a stat sheet, there's a clock, a shot clock that you see up there. Yeah, that's another rule, and there's also a scoreboard. The shot clock is, you have 24 seconds to make a shot. If you don't shoot within 24 seconds, the ball goes to the other team.
Oh, 24 from the start of this
So
side.
anytime the ball goes out of play, anytime the ball switches, so you'll see the clock will go up to 24 now, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't shoot within 24 seconds,
They get the ball.
the ball turns over.
I didn't know that.
So
So
when
you can't just like waste
hold
time.
exactly forever. And you'll see when the clock gets lower, you'll actually hear the people on the sideline saying 5, 4, 3, and yeah, you'll hit. So it hit and it didn't go in, so it'll jump to 13. Sorry, to 14.
After so if you miss your shot,
if you're above 24 seconds, it stays above. But if you're down at like 3 seconds and then and it rebounds, it goes to 14.
Oh.
So that's the... Okay, this guy who's coming on now is unbelievably athletic. He can dunk. He's like one of the few people on the team, a few other people, the taller guys can dunk.
That's number one.
Number one. You'll hear if he's on a breakaway or something, you'll hear the people on the bench yell at him. Dunk it. He's like up to here and he can fly.
Yeah, he doesn't look too
Yes. He's one of the guys I was talking about. He's I think 17 or 18, and he's a prospect that
We might finally see a dunk from outside the circle.
maybe not. That's the
What a great sport.
Yeah.
It's like really fun to watch.
It's great.
So it's my favourite sport to watch live.
I was saying to Ben on the walk here that like I was living in the States for a few months last year actually.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying that you have to go to a basketball game and
Yeah.
all around to it, but they're like all the American sports, like best
It's
spectator
the
sports.
it's the most fun to watch. Yeah, I picked it up once I moved here. I was big into like soccer, I call it now, football, like the Premier League when I was in England, and then I just sort of lost touch. So, hey, these are my friends.
Hey.
This is Ricardo.
Jack, nice to meet you.
What's your role in the team? Like one of the managers of
The
team.
president.
Okay.
President of the team.
Nice to meet you.
From Argentina.
Ecuador.
Ecuador.
You almost got it.
Close. South America.
Good.
Yeah, they came from England, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Get some support for the home team.
Good.
Absolutely. Nice one.
All good. I started chess classes, brother. Did I tell you we have a guy in the team who's very good?
Wait, in the basketball team?
Football.
Ah. So let me add him. I'll play him. Start an inter Aliyah chess. I'll be
We
the...
started. We're gonna start.
Ah, for real?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
He's gonna be a teacher. Well, you can be a teacher as well.
Well, it depends. He's probably better than me if he wants to be a teacher. When? It'll be in Tel Aviv?
He's like 2200, something like
Ah,
that.
so he's better than me.
What's your rating?
Around 2000.
Oh wow, okay.
And,
Serious.
You guys play?
I play a little, but
What's your
1600.
16?
Yeah.
I'm 1300.
So you and I am not yet.
No, not like chess.com. Not official.
2000s.
On chess.com, no. The CMs and the IMs are like 26, 27.
Really?
Bit,
I was
so
22, no?
I have no...
but
official
officially,
ELO,
okay.
2000 is a master, 2200 is a national master, 2400 is an IM, 2600 is a GM. But chess.com doesn't matter. I have no official ELO rating.
But where, like, how's the rating? What did you say? How's the rating?
How does it work? What, officially or on chess.com? Ah, you have to play just like chess.com. Every time you play someone, you get your rating goes up, your rating goes down.
But it's over what, 3,000?
That's like insane.
No, you start, I
Never met
think,
anyone above
at
it. And then
1400.
this guy in the States was like 1900 and he was like a junior champion.
No, that's your starting point. So there are people who start less
Yeah,
than
he
you,
was like
people
a
who start
champion.
more than you.
Yeah, won tournaments and stuff.
One time Ah, yeah?
Not now, yeah, but every once in a while, we zoom on the tournament.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
Do you follow like chess competitions like the the top players.
Yeah, so I'm.
You know the world champions.
Yeah. Oh,
The first game was today. Nepo Ding.
Who won today?
It's a draw. They're all going to be draws.
Yeah. I got into it quite recently
Yeah.
and just like played.
Oh, 1600 is really high for someone.
Like not super like a year and a bit, but yeah. I just I had like a 3 months between a job. It's like I probably could fuck around or I just like learn something
Do
interesting.
something. Okay.
So I just play like tons of chess.com. But I watch a lot of the YouTubers and so like Gotham does recaps.
I like Austin, yeah. I like his recaps.
So I wouldn't say I would like follow. I didn't know that it happened today, but like if it comes up on my YouTube, I'll watch it. And he always gets me with this like thumbnails. Like,
Yeah, they're so
clickbaity.
clickbaity.
I know.
Well, the game actually today could have gone in an insane direction. I was watching it a little bit live, and the commentators, Naroditsky, the streamer, if you follow him, so he was commentating, and Anish Giri. If you want, he's the most educational. If you want Naroditsky, by far, I watch a ton of his. He does Daniel Naroditsky.
Because I thought Gotham used to be better, and now he's blown up.
He's not so
like,
educational. He's like recappy and clickbaity, whereas Naroditsky does speedruns.
Like that.
And Daniel, something like that. Daniel Naroditsky. He does speedruns and he talks through the moves, the processes, everything about it, and it's incredible. It's by far the most educational course that I've found on YouTube. And it's for all levels. So he'll start at 1,000, and then as the speed runs happen, he will go up, and he goes as high as like 20 something, like around 2,000. So the last like 7 or 8 games, I watch it from around 1,600. Even the 1,400 games have plenty of concepts that I can learn from.
Because I got a masterclass subscription, so I watched Kasparov's.
Which so I don't have any of that.
That's certainly below, like too basic for you. But when I was just started learning, obviously hearing from one of the best players ever about like the concepts. It wasn't really necessarily theory, but like a lot of the concepts around like why you pin pieces, how you like overload pieces, how you read middle games, stuff like that.
Right.
How did you learn? Have you always played?
I started as a kid.
Okay.
And I was very good as a kid. I was on a track. I was playing for my county, was it Barnet? And I went all around the country playing chess for Barnet, and I did national competitions and stuff. I was on a track, and then it was taking a lot of time. So I have an ELO rating. I don't remember what it is. I think I got up to around 1,800 as a sort of 12, 13-year-old.
Wow.
And then I took a 20-year break.
Okay.
My mum just decided that school was more important and that I was spending too much time playing chess, doing chess lessons. And I started up again around the time the Queen's Gambit came out.
Okay.
I didn't have an online account. I didn't play at all. And I worked my way up. I went down as low as 800 before I started picking it up again and watching stuff and doing like actual training like I was, and I built it up to a point where my blitz rate, my rapid rating's around 2,000 now. My blitz rating is probably the same as yours, around 1,700.
I got to 1,604 or something, and I've gone back down to mid-1,500.
But what time?
I do
rapid blitz.
Yeah, I do pretty much only a lot of rapid.
But what do you like? Do you play with instruments? Do you play?
I did. So it's actually funny because I find it. Because I've never played really on a board properly. Right. I find it so bizarre when I play a friend on a board. It just doesn't look right to me. I need to be like. I like doing 3+2.
We wouldn't play. I wonder if our games would be good then. I think I would be pretty strong favourite if we were to play. My favourite is 10, 15, 10.
I'm sure you told me. I think why I get stuck is because I play shorter time periods. I just play at like lunch.
3-2. I think we're pretty even. I think I'm around 1,500 at 3-2. Maybe even lower.
But you should. But like You are a better player, though. Do you know what I mean?
just-
Like, I don't.
I have this with one of my good friends in Israel. He's around 1800 in blitz,
Yeah.
but I kill him in rapid.
Okay.
Like I absolutely dominate our games in rapid.
Yeah.
But then our blitz games, he usually wins.
Okay.
And 5 minutes and lower, he will usually win. But anything above 5 minutes, he doesn't even bother playing me anymore. It's like it's not really that close. He just gets annoyed.
Yeah.
And I can't. I try, but I've always
Really?
been a longer sort of classical
You
type
have to
player.
think through.
The lines just take me longer to calculate.
Yeah. It's
I don't play so much with instincts. I never did as a kid either. I play much more with calculation and tactics and whatnot.
I think I'm probably the complete opposite because I've never done too much theory, and the only theory I do is like opening YouTube.
Right, what are your openings of choice?
Oh,
What do you like? You D4, E4, C4.
Yeah.
Did you go mad with king, with knight F3?
No, I'm pretty basic. Like I've tried to learn better openings for defense, so like I can do a bit of Scandinavian.
Oh, you play the Scandi?
Yeah, so like
Okay.
because with 3+2, I
Yeah.
think people's default is just D4, maybe bring the knight out, bring out the bishops. Like it's quite set. I find when I was like 1200, 1300, everyone plays the same, and then if you have like a slightly different opening, because it's a short time period and people aren't playing instincts, then I just think you catch so many people out, even if you just learn like a little bit of
That's what my friend says. He says he's 1700 playing the London and the Caro-Kann, and like 1300 with any other opening.
Yeah, so I currently, last night was watching Gotham's London opening repertoire, yeah, but I really like, I do want to get better, and I'm going to look at that guy you said, Naroditsky, because
He is by far the most educational YouTuber, and he also does an endgame. I'm a weak endgame player, mainly because I run out of time,
yeah,
and so I'm not thinking that much.
it's funny because whenever I do bullet, it's like when I have like 4 minutes, I try and just do the 1 minute game, which is mostly 3 moves, and you can flag people. It's so
hate
stupid.
that.
There's no like good chess.
I never play without increments.
Okay, yeah, no. In theory, me neither. But when I'm like, okay,
But my bullet rating on chess.com I think is 1100.
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll see my rating go just increase rapidly with time. As time increases, my rating increases. And I try and play faster, but I just can't. I can't do it.
Yeah, because all bullet it's like fully instinctive, and also
Yeah.
you can beat down so much material in this game. But I find that a lot easier because I played quite a lot of games, but I haven't done enough theory. And like at some point when I'm got more time or whatever, I do want to like dig in and see how much I can push my rating up.
Oh, that's
But,
cool. It's a function of time, isn't it?
because you have to think that.
Unless you're like Bobby Fischer,
Yeah.
just natural
No,
savant. Yeah.
That I can assure you I'm not.
And
You get quite into the pose, the black GM.
I watched a lot of the main competitions.
Okay.
I don't really care for the streaming stuff like Title Tuesday or whatever.
Okay.
But when there's a big event, I will usually follow it. I watch the game live today.
Oh, really?
Like in the background
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they make a move every 20 minutes.
Sure.
But I was watching it. I will watch all the games as. The thing is, I need it. The concepts there are so advanced that I need the GMs to talk about.
Yeah.
Like they'll do moves, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I thought I was good at this game. I don't get that at all. And then the GMs will be like, no, this is an 8-move continuation.
Yeah,
It's just.
I don't tend to watch it, but like sometimes it's suggested. But what happened? Because I was watching when it's like Ali Reza and Magnus.
He's my favourite player, Ali Reza.
I was just saying the same thing. So I was
Him and Anish Giri are the most just incredible.
I know quite a lot of the styles of the GMs because like Gotham does this run through,
Right.
and I think Ali Reza just plays the best chess. And like when 2 years ago when Magnus was just dominant, he was like, well, what happened to him?
I don't know. He he didn't have a good candidates tournament. You know how they
I
get
don't know what it is.
so the champion gets to so Magnus Carlsen was the world chess champion, and usually they have a candidates tournament. There's only I think 8 or 10 players, I don't remember. They do a round robin. Very, very difficult to get into it. Like you have to have an incredibly high rating. You have to win. There are what they consider the like grand slams of chess. You know, like Wimbledon, or you know, there's a million tennis tournaments, like Wimbledon and the Australian Open, French, and whatever. They have the best rep. So there's a bunch of chess tournaments like that are considered the Grand Slam. I think you have to win one of them. You have to have an extremely high. There's a bunch of criteria. Pretty much, you have to be one of the best players in the world to even have a chance. And the winner, only the winner of the candidates tournament,
Faces the world number one.
Faces the world. It's not necessarily the world number one, but the world champion.
Okay, then it's default.
Right? If someone doesn't have the world number one is based on the rating.
Yeah,
The world, Magnus has the highest rating as well. But yeah,
do you get bored?
I think he said he just doesn't have the drive for like long classical chess. Like it's a brutal assault on these guys, because it's not just the games themselves that last 5-6 hours. It's the prep that you have to do. They're doing it for like they're talking about these guys still being in prep 20 moves in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I know,
how do you like Magnus Carlsen's memory is? I've seen he can play 3 people blindfolded.
Yeah, I've watched. I've seen all that stuff.
Like they're not great players. They're like maybe 1,500 level
still,
players.
yeah.
That yes, he doesn't need to worry about like advanced concepts in the game. But still, I can't play one person blindfolded.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no chance.
I remember feeling horribly embarrassed because I was about 12, and my teacher said that he could play blindfolded, and I didn't believe him, and my rating was pretty good at this point. I was like 1800, but he was an IM, and he beat me completely blindfolded. He sat with his back to the chessboard the entire time doing the moves. I was horribly embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm astounded that I don't have that memory. I don't get how they.
I can't do it. Sometimes I've played a couple of times on chess.com. You can actually do blindfolded chess.
Oh, you can do the one where it blanks it out.
It's
where it like blurs it or what?
It will. The whole thing will be just empty.
Yeah.
And then if you click the piece, you can see it after you've moved it or something.
I've seen like often do that.
But you can never see them. It's a bizarre. It's like what I would call half blind chess.
I think I do. I know what you mean.
And I don't know. It's really difficult. And I really wasn't getting it. So I kind of just gave up.
The alley rage is
This
not
is
like.
just a party trick. It's not a.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you don't need it.
Yeah.
But is Ali Razor like still? He will be.
So,
going
right. So he had a really bad candidates tournament. He was one of the favourites to win, and I think he came sort of mid to bottom. He just didn't. The pressure got to him. Like remember, he was only 18 or 19 years old. So the pressure got to him. He didn't have a good. I haven't heard much about him. Like he was, I think, the youngest, other than Magnus Carlsen, he was the youngest ever 2,800 rated player.
Yeah, because I was amazed. It was like Magnus is Magnus, and then you have a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah,
Where's he from?
he's from Iran, but he now plays under France. He got, I think, asylum.
Okay.
And so now he plays for France.
Okay. Yeah, kid.
Yeah, he is like the kid, and I think the
such
pressure got to
aggressive
him.
chess.
And Hikaru, if you ever watch Hikaru's streams, he's always afraid. He's only afraid of 2 players. It's Ali Reza and Magnus Carlsen. And he's like, shit, this is Ali. He'll be talking to a stream. He'll be killing other GMs and he'll be chatting to a stream.
I love that.
And then he plays either Magnus or Ali Reza. He's like, all right, guys, I've got to concentrate. I can't, I'm playing...
Yeah, I like. But I'm very aware. Like I've never played high level chess at all, and I've never done any tournaments. But I'm super aware of like just the mental side of the game, like grinding people down and prepping for weeks. And you can kind of see how like Bobby Fischer went mad, and you can see how
I'm sure you play a lot of bullet. You must be like being on tilt is a legitimate thing. You can be in a winning position and somehow lose, and then you'll lose the next 6 games because you're just so mad at yourself for losing.
Sure. But that I don't really care about because I'm like, I will literally say, oh, I've got 3 minutes till the bus comes, and then I'm just like, okay, you lose, you win, whatever. But and actually, it really rewards bad chess because if you just get a 10-second advantage, just remove a bunch of stuff and they're just solid.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
The 3? Did you say 9?
Yeah, it was on both of them. It was so strange, wasn't it? Like the angle or something.
Great game so far.
Yeah.
Do they not switch?
They do. At half time, they switch every quarter. So there's a minute 27 left in the first half, and
why you just allowed to break when you want to break?
you get I think it's 2 or 3. I don't remember timeouts. I don't remember. I'm getting confused between football and basketball. There's slightly different rules. I think it's 2 timeouts per quarter. In American football, it's 3 timeouts per half. But I think basketball is 2. I have to check with something. I don't remember. But usually, momentum is very much a thing in basketball.
Okay.
And so they will usually save the timeouts for to break up momentum.
Sure.
Other reasons if they have, you'll see that a lot of timeouts are used in the last couple of seconds when they have to reset. So there's all these rules about when the clock's running, when it's not, but when you take a timeout, it stops the clock, and instead of starting at the back there, you move to the sideline there. So when they're out of time and you need a very quick play, you call a timeout. But there's a lot of different reasons. It gets incredibly technical and tactical about when and how. I don't remember all the rules. There's a lot of exceptions to the rules.
I think we can go to like a Division 1 game where we're hit.
Oh, if you can get tickets. I don't know how. Again, Division 1, there's a very wide range. There's Maccabi Tel Aviv, who are one of the best teams in Europe and will have an enormous following. I'll be very surprised if there's ever tickets available.
Oh, really?
But then there are the lower teams in Division 1 who play in front of maybe only 1,000 people. Maccabi Tel Aviv play in front of 20,000.
Really? Wow, okay.
So
I had no idea. Is there like, I guess the Champions League equivalent is there?
there is the European Championship, and Maccabi Tel Aviv are always one. I think the best team, Real Madrid and Barcelona, both have. They're both sport organisations. They're not just football teams. They both have basketball teams. Barcelona are one of the best in Europe. So I don't know. There's also a couple of Greek teams that are very good. The Eastern European teams. It get towards the end of the quarter, it gets very intense.
This guy is exhausted. So you got 10 seconds.
So what he's doing now is he wants to take the last shot of the game. No, he missed it. So what would have happened? They would have got the ball and then been able to go back up the other end. Very weird.
What is that about?
Very strange.
The other 3 is showing.
It's very faint.
So like if you tap on that,
That's coming up now.
It's just come into focus. Very strange.
How come people miss? Especially like in the end.
It's like penalties. Why doesn't everyone hit the top right corner?
You've got a goalkeeper. It's just a
it's true.
pressure
But it's true. It's also true if you play in the top
football,
left corner.
Professional football, like in the Premier League, fuck it, the Champions League and the World Cup should be able to hit a laser dot
Yeah.
in the goal.
Also not that far out.
Right, they're from what, 10, 12 metres away or something?
Yeah.
They should be able to hit a laser dot. They can't. They don't. What's his name? I saw Jesus' first penalty back. He put it right down the middle.
That's such a shit.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Kane sometimes hits it bang in the centre. Sometimes hits
Kane's
it.
pretty good.
But it's pressure. And it's a thing actually. Like stats are a huge. There are some players who stats are a huge thing, and you professional players have a free throw percentage. They have a career percentage, a season percentage. Some players, I think the highest ever is like 91%.
Really?
Of their free throws
I'm
going.
surprised that that's quite low.
Well, I watched a really interesting video about how it's actually, he claimed it was impossible to shoot higher than 90%. And that really just does, it reflects in the league itself, because the best free throw shooters, if you track it all throughout history, very rarely go above 91%. But then there are guys who hit like 40, 50%, and they're known as terrible free throw shooters. And there are tactics around it, because especially when you're in the bonus and you foul someone, the person who is fouled has to take the free throw. And so it's very tactical. So some players are so good, but in the last 2 minutes of the game, the coach takes them off because they're always fouled and they miss the free throws. In the NBA, the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game take forever because there's so many fouls and they need to get the ball. Yeah, look, it's really weird. The score doesn't show up on the thing. It's funny.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know, it's no. Look.
Oh, now that's the other way.
Sometimes
see.
it shows 9-3. Sometimes it shows 39-3. Now it's showing 9-43.
So you can just talk into the camera and let them know what the score is.
They can hear us.
Yeah, they can. Hope we haven't been
So
saying.
I've been
about
teaching
chess.
these guys the rules of basketball, and
That's
I hope
nice.
I've been saying the right things. Find out in the comments if I made any mistakes. Mainly when talking about chess.
Love basketball. To our one viewer.
There's only one person watching. Also, another thing is.
Come on, Arsenal. In Arsenal, man.
Yeah. Well, again, I've kind of dropped off since I moved here. But like our group is pretty active when shit happens, and so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a really bad Arsenal fan, but
Yeah, me
it's
too.
nice to support them this season.
I mean, I moved here 8-9 years ago, so we've kind of been in the wilderness since then. Now we're doing well. I guess call me a fair weather fan. I'm kind of following a little bit.
Oh, I'm so fair weather. Couldn't
But
be
I mean,
more
I
fair weather.
didn't even know we were playing Liverpool today until Ben just showed me that. So I'm not really following it.
Okay, I'm a bit more of a fan, but yeah, I had the long 8-9 years where I was like, I watched too many other sports, and I'm like,
What else do you like?
cricket, rugby.
I like rugby. I played rugby at school for like 5-6 years.
It was a JFS.
And I was at QE.
Okay. Oh, of course, sorry. Yeah.
I was at JFS just for sixth form.
You still follow it.
I follow the Six Nations. I follow the World Cup. I don't follow anything outside of it. I watched some of the games. I'm like, fuck. Who are these people? I've never heard of most of them.
I think that's probably why I follow the most rugby and cricket.
But what's his name? Colin Owen Farrell steal the fly art.
Yeah, I know. Something's been changed.
Yeah. We had Johnny Wilkinson for like 15 years, and now
Yeah.
Owen Farrell has taken
know.
over. And...
It's,
Like, okay, fine.
There's Marcus Smith was very good. But just can't really.
A friend of mine had season tickets to Saracens, so when I went to university,
Yeah.
this is when, did Saracens move from Manchester to London? And,
For me, I've always known them being in London. But
so I went to see a bunch of Saracen games near Manchester, maybe they were just away. Again, I wasn't following. And then I went to, was it Cocktail where they play?
Yeah, Barnet Cocktail,
And
exactly.
so, and so they even had it so people could actually, they have like a barrier on the side, but people can go right up to the barrier. And so you can see just how fucking enormous these pieces are.
Unbelievable.
And,
Yeah.
and seeing the contact, like when it's this,
and when you
this
hear it,
close
it's
to you,
like,
wow,
they're
it's
so hard.
different to watching
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's totally different to watching it on TV. It's amazing. I loved watching it. I gotta say, I think I only like football because all my friends like football growing up. I actually preferred to watch rugby. I preferred to watch the NBA. I preferred to watch the NFL. But just sort of growing up in London, all my friends are Arsenal, my closest friends were Arsenal fans. It just became our thing that we did. We watched the football on Saturdays and Sundays, and so I just became an Arsenal, like a big Arsenal. My family have had Arsenal season tickets forever, but I'm not super into football. I don't really like. I watch the World Cup. I don't even watch the Champions League.
Yeah, I'm similar.
I guess on its own as a concept, I don't like it as much as the other sports. I like it because it's a social thing.
Like I'll watch the Arsenal games on TV, and my grandpa goes, and so I'll go to a couple of games and see some of them.
Yeah.
But like after a rugby game, I like watching the analysis. I love it.
Cricket, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, that's an answer.
I can't watch a sport. Although I do love going, drinking Pimm's.
Yeah, it's a fun day out, but
No, I was also a terrible batter. When I played in school, I was wicketkeeper.
okay.
I volunteered because I was so bored in the field, and I was quite good. I was actually on the school team as wicketkeeper, but I was always either 10th or 11th man. There were sometimes bowlers who were even worse batters than me, and so occasionally I'd be 10th instead of 11th. But I was just terrible. I could never hit the onside, only the off. I had to hit it across my body every single time.
And it's also a tough sell to be like, yeah, give up your whole Saturday, and
It just takes so long.
yeah, I mean, I love it, but I have no, like, I completely understand why people do.
How long is it? So when the games are really competitive, we actually shit talk a lot when they're taking free throws.
Really?
Well, yeah, it's really funny. And then some of the players will come over and be like, "What the fuck? Shut up!" And
You get like, this guy's not now going to make 18 free throws in a row. Like, I kind of get the.
and then sometimes they take it a bit too far, and then it's like there've been some like, I'll see you after the game type shit. Yeah. Like usually you just like animal noises to try and make them laugh. You just like go.
Might
It's a fucking trouble.
might this one get a bit competitive?
It could do. It's not a lot of our first team players. So I don't know to what extent it. If it's a close game, it always gets tested towards the end, all the time. That's called an AM1. So they love AM1s because you have a chance to have a 3-point play, and it counts towards the team fouls that put you into the bonus afterwards.
Why don't you get one go then? Someone to get two.
Because when you're fouled on a shooting, when you're fouled while you're shooting, if the ball goes in, you only get one.
Okay.
If the ball, if you're fouled, if you miss, then again you get two. If
Oh,
I don't know what happened. Yeah, they don't have a very. You're allowed. I don't remember. I think 8. You're allowed players. I think it's 8 bench players you're allowed. 13 total. And very much like when a full team's playing, they rotate all the time. You can't play more than 3-4 minutes in a row. Because it's exhausting.
Oh man, yeah.
so that guy's played the whole thing. Oh, they just come on. Oh no, they haven't.
Yeah, it's tired.
Yeah.
So Sam's going to be really tired. But if they want to get promoted, they need him to play. The red team, though, I think will start to dwindle. Like, towards the end, yeah, they've only got 2 bench players. I have a feeling this is one of the. But again, it's.
Dude. Momentum.
Yeah.
See, they'll probably hope there was some increase in the followers as well.
If they score here, if they miss here and the blue team score, they'll probably take a time out to cut the momentum. So here, if the blue team score, expect there to be a timeout. He's not paying attention. That didn't look like a foul. The thing is, basketball can be both incredibly aggressive and incredibly petty at the same time. You can have, if someone's shooting, right, and you do another time, you can knock a guy out by running into him, and it's not a foul.
But what are you allowed to do? They all they all budge each other a bit.
Still not taking a timeout. Wow, this coach is terrible. He's probably one of their dads. He's not. So, yeah, you're not allowed to touch. Again, the rules get very technical. I'm not really sure of all of them, but you're not allowed to touch the arm of the shooter. But again, they get away with it.
But isn't it very easy to look for a foul, kind of diving?
Oh, it's very much a tactic. So the NBA are trying to cut it. Wow, that was he missed, but it was a nice one. The NBA is desperately trying to cut it out because, but it is very much a thing. But also, it's called. There are two different types. There's flopping, which is like diving, right? Where it's not considered. It's not considered like a legit play. It's considered a dirty play. Flopping, like when someone bumps your chest and you go fall to the floor, right? But there very much is a thing. No, you'll be called for a flop. It very much is a thing that's called drawing a foul. And you get players who are very good at drawing a foul. Remember what I said, that it goes to the bonus. It's a big thing when you get into bonus. Teams have to defend differently. They have to play differently. And it really will affect a lot of the tactics of the game. And so you get players who draw fouls quite intentionally to get their team into the bonus. And they the way they drive to the basket, they try and do layups. There is a skill to getting people to foul you.
Okay, yeah, I can imagine.
Again, I'm not super familiar with all the rules and subtleties.
That deserves.
Number 9 is usually a resident sharpshooter. He's amazing at threes. He's hit 6 or 7 threes a game.
What?
He's playing centre today because there's not many other big people. You see, he's the tallest on the thing. Occasionally, we have another couple of guys who are bigger than him. They play centre, and so he plays more on the wing, and then he shoots threes more. But now you'll see he's hitting under the basket a bit more. it's a shame that when we have a team of Sams playing, when we have a whole team of them, and he doesn't have to carry the team.
Yeah, I mean,
It looks amazing, especially when the other team's also really good. Deserved of Arsenal. He is French-Canadian. Alright, let's get a zoom of the score.
there you go.
Ah, now it's working. I wonder how many starters the other team, I think, because it's Pesach. And again, not most of these guys play for free, so they're like, they go away at Pesach, or they're with their families at Pesach, or so I wonder how many their team's missing as well.
Have you done much of this?
No, we did a Seder, just Ella and I, and keep it. It's a time for friends. We did. We're seeing some friends in a couple of on Tuesday. We're seeing some friends. Although I was at work today. I'm at work tomorrow, and then
Today? How come you're working today?
it's there are like Chagim, they're the first 2 and the last 2 days, and then there are like days that are not Chagim, like holiday days. So the middle is called Chol HaMoed, which means I don't know what it translates to actually. It just means that it's not you can work, you can drive, you can do all that stuff. But Tuesday and Wednesday are holiday days.
But I also mean because it's a Sunday.
Huh?
I also mean because it's a Sunday.
Oh yeah, Israel's weekends are Friday and Saturday.
Ah,
It took a while to get used to that.
okay. Hey!
Israel's weekends are Friday.
Sunday is a regular work day.
Wow.
Okay.
Ah, yeah, I should have started with that. You didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why Israel? What brings you to Israel?
I guess, do you know Gus? Simon? Okay.
I don't think we might have met once when we were playing poker or something. But
He was quite keen to come, I think. Well, your family, you say, but I think
Yeah.
your grandparents, right?
No, not quite. Yeah, it's a family holiday there. And
nice.
My dad has connections with his family. Some family who have died, but then also his cousin still is here, who we're seeing while we're over here.
Yep.
And those are my dad's only living relatives. So it's like came to time to visit them, and also an opportunity for my dad to tell us about the other side of his family, not around anymore,
Yeah.
and us to kind of do all that stuff.
why Yaakov? Yaakov is beautiful. Like, why Yaakov? There's a lot of different areas.
They organised it, my dad and Jack's mum,
Yep.
and they were here last year.
Yeah, they come quite a bit. I think they've been a few times in the last few years. But
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just decided that'd be a cool place to stay.
Oh, nice.
I've never been. I think they haven't been for a while. So nice place to visit and nice time to come. Well, in theory, a nice time to come.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess at the
It's a
moment.
mess, sure. But we were like, yeah, April will be fine. Passover's nice. It comes around and
I mean, it really should be. The weather should be. It's going to rain this week,
Yeah.
apparently. It's so unlucky with that. Today was really hot.
it was lovely. And
Yeah.
I think tomorrow's gonna be nice. And Friday and Saturday will be nice. So it's not,
Yeah.
not the end of the world, but
Fine. Well, I'm off work on Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday I'm off work. Tuesday we're busy. We're seeing friends most of the day. In the evening, if you're about, I'm free. Or Wednesday during the day. You can meet my wife. You met Ella, haven't you? A couple of times.
When you come over. That's, you know, I'm around during the day and Wednesday. In the evening, it's Wednesday, yeah. In the evening, it's Chelsea and Real Madrid in the Champions League.
Oh wow.
But that's later on.
We were going to go to header. I think we were trying to book header on Wednesday night.
Do you want to go to the bar to watch that?
Yeah. Where, I was going to ask you where you might recommend. And you know the whole like
The best
my
place
dad
to
and
go.
my brother are here, and you know we all go to the games together.
Right. Oh wait, you got another brother, Jake. Ah, okay. So when I said we might have played football, I played football with Jake. I don't think I played football with you.
Okay, Jack, Jake, yeah. Okay.
Jack, Jake, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I don't think I played with them. Oh, great.
Also, the last time I played football in Power League was maybe 10-something years ago. So I was
Might have been Jake,
quite,
definitely,
quite likely misremembering.
So maybe Dan, maybe you and Jake were in the same.
Oh, he played in King Crown.
You got involved a little bit.
I think I moved to Israel. I played, I think, one season for King Crown, and then I moved to Israel. There was a weird set of circumstances, actually. I moved to Israel probably because quite roundabout. I dislocated my shoulder playing for King Crown. Remember?
Yeah.
I had to have surgery. I was off work for about 2.5 months because I had to have surgery, and then I couldn't move my arm, and then I had to stay bedbound. And during that time, when I was just sitting at home, I think watching Breaking Bad, I kind of just decided to myself that, London wasn't for me for whatever reasons. I don't think if I didn't have that period of just sitting home alone, I would have moved to Israel. Very strange.
I was going to ask you. I was thinking that. Do you move? I don't remember.
I was 10 years ago. I was very. I don't know. I wanted to live somewhere else. Israel didn't necessarily. I wasn't overly Zionist. It didn't have to be Israel. I looked at New York. I looked at Australia. I spoke to a recruiter, he even found me a job in Greenland.
Wow.
Of all places. I didn't know there were enough people in Greenland to have computer science related jobs.
Jobs generally.
But Israel was by far the easiest, both sort of the process, because I could just make Aliyah. I was welcome, and I had family and friends there. And so it was I have friends in New York as well, but New York was really difficult to get a visa, and there's this weird cycle where you need a visa to get a job, and then a job to get a visa, and I didn't know how anyway. So
I feel that pain.
So Israel was just the one. I just didn't want to live in, when I was sitting in my room, I was like, really, I was 24, 25, and I was thinking London, is this it? I think I'd also just broken up with my girlfriend of a year and a half, and I was just I need a change. I just want to, and so that's why I moved to Israel, and I never thought of it as I'll move here and I'm going to live in Israel permanently. I always thought of it as, okay, if I get on here, great. If I don't, then I'll move back or I'll move somewhere else. And I don't know. I found a good job. I found a good group of friends. I mean, I had a few friends anyway, and they introduced me to other people. And I got involved with a bunch of American guys, and I just liked it. But now we're fed up with it, so we're moving back to England next year.
Right.
Yeah.
How is it?
Ella is originally from Uzbekistan, but she moved here with her family when they were. I mean, she considers herself Russian. Her family are from Belarus. During when the USSR collapsed, they escaped the USSR to go to Uzbekistan. So she doesn't feel Uzbekistani. She was technically born there, but she sort of identifies more as Belarusian type of thing. Her mum speaks fluent Russian. She only speaks Russian with her mum. Her grandma doesn't speak Hebrew or English, So our encounters are very funny. I just sit there like, because I'm starting to learn Russian, but like very slowly. I'm not good with languages. My Hebrew isn't great. I've been here 10 years. And like taking on another one Russian just makes it impossible. And so I know maybe 20 to 30 words. That's not anything like what you need for a conversation. I can say hi, hello. Her mum speaks Hebrew, so her mum and I speak Hebrew, and I'm fine with her mum. I've got a good relationship with her mum. Her dad's not in the picture, so that doesn't matter. In Rishon, it's like 10 kilometers south of here. We lived there for 3 years. When we first moved in, I lived in Tel Aviv, and then when we first moved in together, she's from Rishon, and also rent here is so unbelievably expensive that we're just like, well, why don't we save a bit of money and live in Rishon? I didn't need to live in Tel Aviv's for single people. It's for single people. Maybe the best city in the world for single people. But when you're in a couple, we had a car, we just drive in if we wanted to go to a bar or something. I didn't need to go out and get smashed and then be able to walk home. Then I moved to Apple, and Ella decided that she wanted to live in Tel Aviv. She also got a new job in like high tech, so we were earning more. We could afford more rent. So we're living in Tel Aviv, but I loathe how much we pay in rent. I didn't want to move back to Tel Aviv, but she'd never lived in Tel Aviv, and so being an Israeli, living in Tel Aviv is like the gold standard for your mid-20s. So she really wanted that. And so we've been living in Tel Aviv for a year and a half.
Whereabouts are you? Like in the city?
We are near the Lozorov and Shalom train station, if you know them at all. So I used to live, when we met, I was right by the beach. It was incredible. Like a 2-minute walk to the beach. They were amazing. Then we moved to Rishon, and now we're about 40-minute walk from the beach, but I'm very close to the train. I preferred to be closer to the train stations because I work in Herzliya. So I didn't want to be close to the beach and have Herzliya is about 10 kilometers north, and so I preferred to be closer to the train station. So I work every day. I'm going to the beach on the weekends, than being close to the beach and commuting every day. So we live in a new building, like between the two stations. So it's really convenient. It's about. I actually took the bus here. I was going to drive, but then Ella needed the car, so more than me. So it's about most of the time I either drive or cycle.
Yeah.
It's about 5.5 kilometers for me, so it's a very long walk. But it's like a it's about half an hour cycle. It's a 10-minute drive, or 25 to 30 minutes on the bus.
You said you went too far from where we're staying. How far?
You're in Yafo, so again, it would depend what we did, if I drove, if I whatever. Especially if we're meeting to watch the football, then I don't know anywhere in Yafo, and I know a bunch of places in Tel Aviv, so we'll probably meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
somewhere that will take you about 20 minutes to walk, and somewhere that will take me about 20 plus minutes to walk.
We found somewhere like Mike's place.
I was going to recommend Mike's place because it's the big tourist spot. It's the only place I know for sure that will show it. There aren't sports bars in Israel, and there aren't pubs. So the big games, the big Champions League games, the vast majority of restaurants will actually show the big games, but I can't be sure. You're playing who? Barcelona or Real Madrid?
Real.
Fine. So Real Madrid are very big here. Chelsea aren't very big here, but I think maybe because it's Real Madrid, most of the restaurants will be showing it. The one place that you can always depend on is Mike's place will show everything all the time. It is a sports bar. It's the only one in Tel Aviv. But the other thing is that most of the restaurants that will be showing the game are on Dizengoff. And actually, because of what's happening in Israel right now, I avoid Dizengoff. And I would recommend that you do as well. It's just, all the attacks happen on Dizengoff. I mean, I know the latest one didn't, but 3 previous before that all happened on Dizengoff because just the nature.
It was near Düsseldorf.
It was in the park. It was in Portsmouth Park. So it's the way Dizengoff happens, it's a very open street, and all the restaurants have a lot of like benches on, like actually on the street itself. It really is where you would choose to have an attack because it's so open. Someone stands on the street and can just spray bullets. So I avoid Dizengoff. I'm avoiding Dizengoff right now. We'll walk down it if it's the quickest way, but I wouldn't sit in a restaurant right now. Again, a ton of people will tell me that I'm insane, but I'm not. There's plenty of other places to watch it.
What are your, I don't know if you want to like screen this, but in terms of Jerusalem right now, do you think it's like worth avoiding? Would you do
No, I would feel fine going to Jerusalem. Again, it depends where. There are places that if you want to visit the old city, it's absolutely fine because everyone's checked before they go in.
Yeah.
But there are areas of Jerusalem. To be honest, I don't know much about Jerusalem.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to the old city, you'll be fine because everyone is like a what do you call it here? It's like a mall, a shopping mall. You're checked before you go in.
Sure.
Have you eaten it?
No.
Can we get some dinner after this?
Yeah, sure. I was thinking about it, but I honestly I don't know anywhere around here. Maybe we could take a bus. Like actually be able to talk. I have half a mind on this.
I feel like what's happened here, that we're going outside.
Yeah.
One team has a bench, the other team doesn't. So fourth quarter is just completely gone in his head.
Yeah. Absolutely. It makes a huge difference. Yeah, the red team. For those watching at home, the score is 77-61. 77 ל-61.
Sports fans at home.
משום מה אי אפשר לראות את המסך כרגע, אז זה 67 ל-61. נשאר 3 דקות 24 שניות.
How's your Hebrew?
Huh?
How's your Hebrew this weekend?
I didn't know anything. Okay, to people who don't speak Hebrew, they think I'm fluent. I'm not even remotely close to being fluent. I make so many mistakes. My vocabulary is that of a 10-year-old. But I've been here a long time. I do business meetings at work. I work in part. Obviously, coding is in English, but like all the chat in the office, all the thing is in Hebrew. So again, like my accent isn't Israeli, isn't that Israeli. But no, I can get by. I go to the bank if I need to, like yell at the person in the post office if I need to. Just I've learned so much about language, learning another language. It's just the difference between like regular everyday proficiency and fluency is enormous. Absolutely enormous. And I lie somewhere at the beginning of that. Like if you got beginners, then everyday proficient, and then fluent, I'm like here-ish.
Daniel's there and
Yes. If you go there,
yeah.
just straight down, and then it's on the right. Just push the door in. Again. See, they're in the bonus now, so an offensive foul at that
straight to a
basket
free throw.
means
Got
free
it.
throws on that basket.
That's like universal.
Um,
It's happening in the NBA as well.
yeah. See, there are very, very, very minor differences between Europe and the NBA.
Do they get to choose who takes it?
No, the person who gets fouled. Yeah, that's what we do. Usually, he's a bit nuts. Yeah, he does it all the time, and I've spoken to him about it. But, I do it in tight games.
You're a gentleman about it.
Yeah, when we're down, I do it, and in tight games, I do it. He's a bit nuts. He does it all the time, and he gets yelled at a lot, and quite rightly so. Like sometimes I defend him, sometimes I don't even. Oh, dunk it!
Oh. 17 points up, 2 free throws.
Oh my god. There's a rule in the NBA where, I mean, you can't see it here because it's got lots of different lines, but roughly, see where the inner mini circle is?
Yeah.
If you draw 2 lines straight down to the baseline, that area is called the paint. The paint.
Paint.
I don't know why. Don't know the origins of that. But you're not allowed to stand in the paint for more than 3 seconds without leaving it. That rule doesn't exist in Europe.
Okay.
So you get in America what's called a 3-second violation. It's very rare. It's very rare because the referees don't really even want to call it. But the players are very aware of it. You'll see most of them stand, take a step out.
So if you spend more than 3 seconds there, you have
It's called a 3-second violation. It's just a turnover. It's not free throws or anything. But that rule doesn't exist in Europe.
if you have the ball. But like your team has the ball, but you physically don't have the ball.
I think it's anyone. I'm not sure though. But I think it's... I'm not sure. It's definitely the defensive player. I'm not sure if it's also the offensive player or not. This is like the grey area where the rules that, the really rare rules that don't get a lot of, they just don't happen very often. I don't know them well enough. Yeah, this is like the end of the game. Look at the score. It's
Yes. So open.
The last shot, they won't even take it. They give it back to the referee. It's just
It was a very good game.
It was, yeah. It was just they ran out of pass.
המשחק נגמר, ניצחנו כ-20 נקודות. Final score 80-62. ניצחנו 80-62. ביי חברים.